It's like Hassan is not getting me. So we can just dive into the meeting. Our president is Roden A. Sebepelo, who is immediate graduate from University of Botswana. Yeah, she's been in AFAN for some years. She has served several positions, and currently she's our mother, so to say. She's our president, and I'm sure she'll be able to introduce herself in full. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Ebenisha. I really appreciate this. And hello, everyone. And today is a good day. It is an exciting evening today as we explore the insides of leadership. I am Dr. Lorraine Sebopelo from Botswana and also the president for the Association of Future African Neurosurgeons. So I heard Ebenisha say I should go on, but I think that would be for another day. So can we go on with the presentation? Is that all right, Ebenisha?
Yes, sure. You can go on.
Okay. So today we'll be
That's
talking
okay.
about insights of leadership. Leadership has many interpretations, and some say it is the abominable snowman whose footprints are everywhere, but who is nowhere to be seen. So this is the outline of my presentation. I'll be going through the introduction all the way to emotional intelligence. And just to introduce, this is a popular question. Who is a leader? Mind you, does not say what is a leader, because being a leader is much more than just what they do, but also who they are. And when you think about it, we're all leaders in our own realm, or at least we have been, like in our families, in academic institutions, ward rounds. Leadership, derived from the verb leading, acquires meanings of those who are engaged in activity like managing, as the result of performing the activity as a manager. So leadership and management are indeed complementary. This brings us to the next component, where we try and differentiate the two. I cannot talk about leadership without talking about management, as the two are a continuum. And you have to admit it is hard to separate the two, but some have tried. Leadership is more about the people, vision, and creating a change, whereas management is about material, executing plans, and managing the changes. So the two processes, even if differentiated in many ways theoretically, they are not effective without each other working in tandem, and this makes them inseparable. This is just another illustration to show that the two indeed work hand in hand, and it's hard to be a leader without managing, and vice versa. The two terms, leadership and management, form the framework for skills and abilities that are necessary for an individual to drive the team to success. And highly effective organizations would require a culture of resilience, with individuals demonstrating these core attributes. So, as a leader, then, it is important to set a direction for the team. You find that a lot of organizations and institutions have a vision and mission statement. And when we talk about mission, you can just think of it like the now, and the vision is about the future. We try to keep it simple. So mission talks about the organization's present, why it exists, and who we do it for. Vision talks about the future. It communicates the purpose and values of the organization and what we want to do going forward. When it comes to values, they define the organization's philosophy, principles, and ideals. It sets that ethical tone for the organization and can be incorporated into the mission and vision statements, or they could just be a standalone. So you may wonder why mission and visions are important. They unite members for a purpose. As a manager, it allows you to target your leadership styles to accomplish the results that you're trying to obtain, and it ties all the previously learned skills together. And it really should be understood by a 12-year-old, so they have to be simplified. This is just an example. AFAN's mission statement: to foster networking, mentorship, education, and capacity building among aspiring African neurosurgeons. And when it comes to the vision, AFAN wishes to become the largest holistic and international community of aspiring African neurosurgeons. and to capacitate all its members with necessary skills and resources to become successful neurosurgeons. And just to elaborate, to have a sense of direction, you must also know there is where you come from that is very important. As much as we want to put the past behind us, history is pivotal to our growth, who we become, whether as individuals or as an organization. We need essential understanding and agreement on a mission, vision, and values of a team. And this is to allow for effective management and for the team to function. Essentially, everyone needs to be on the same page, and that is your role and job as a leader. Now, a little bit interesting. John Maxwell's book helps us answer a couple of questions about leadership. That is where you are as a leader right now, how you do, and also how you get to the next level. According to the book, leadership is a journey. It's a process. It's about the people. There are 5 levels of leadership, which we will break down definitely. When you move up a level, you build on the previous one. The higher you go, the easier it becomes to lead, and there is no shortcut to get to the next level. Although moving up a level takes a lot more time, moving down one or even a couple more can happen quite quickly. So we'll start off with the first level, that is position. And this is the lowest level of leadership. It's the entry level. It's a starting point for everyone's leadership journey. Leadership here is granted because one receives a job title. One has the authority, but they don't have influence. People follow you because they have. Position is the only level that does not require ability and effort to achieve. So the question is, does position really make one a leader? Okay, so we're just talking about the first level of leadership and how it allows one to really think about the kind of leader that they want to be. It means you have what it takes to become a leader. So there's always that chance to grow. There's always that room for improvement. However, in position, in level 1, it can be a little bit misleading because now you're in position, you're in some leadership. You won't get the best out of your team if you're leading at this level for quite a long time. So now let's move up a little. With level 2, that is permission. It is based on relationships. People follow you because they want to. Leaders on this level make people know that they matter. How you do actually matters. So the question is, do you make people feel that they matter? Permission breeds trust and respect. Leaders at this level, they listen well, they observe, they learn, and they serve. Work is more enjoyable, and it boosts everybody's energy, and there are good relationships that are formed, two-way communication that occurs. On the downside, you're so focused on relationships that you can make mistakes, and also you can seem as a weak person as a leader. It can be frustrating to work in this way, and you can leave yourself open to being taken advantage of. With the third level, now we're leveling up to production. Here is about delivering results. It separates true leaders from leaders who simply hold a position. And when you deliver exceptional results, your leadership intensifies. This is the first level where a leader can become a change agent. People they follow you because of what you have done for the organization. Your credibility increases when you deliver results, and your results set a standard for your followers, furtherly increasing results, and this will build a momentum in your team. People see your results and they want to be a part of your team. On the downside, though, there's a lot of responsibility that is associated with continually achieving results. There's that pressure. People feel like now that is expected of you. Even though you're focused on results, it's not so that you lose sight on level 2, because that's what you're building on. And speaking of which, we go on to level 4, people development. This level is about reproduction. Leaders change from focusing on delivering results to developing people. They invest time, energy, money, and thoughts into growing their followers to be leaders possessing the same skills. The strengths of each new leader are unleashed, and people follow you because of what you've done for them and not just the organization. And here you deliver even better results by focusing on people, and success is sustained. It gives you the space to work on bigger things, and it's hugely rewarding to see other people develop and grow. However, there's some that can feel threatened by this prospect of developing others and becoming better than you. It's kind of ironic, right? You must be willing to focus on the long-term goals. It can be a little bit time consuming, and it requires a lot of patience to be at this stage. Now we're at the pinnacle. People follow you because of who you are and what you represent. Level 5 leaders develop their followers into level 4 leaders. Maxwell, the author, argues that many people make it to this level, and those are that are naturally. So it takes a great skill, judgment, and commitment. You create legacy when you're at this level. You create legacy within the organization, and you amplify your influence. On the downside, however, you can forget that there's always more to learn and more room to grow, and it's easy to get comfortable. It's easy to be distracted. You have to work hard to maintain a focus on the vision, and you might think you've reached the end of your journey. So let's shift gears a little bit. And let me emphasize that in the next subtopic, which is leadership styles, that it is important to use these styles together, the ones I'm going to talk about. And you have to know when to use them and how to use them. So there are 6 of them. Starting with democratic. This is more of a collaborative approach. 2 heads are better than 1. Feedback from followers is essential, and it helps leaders shape their decisions. It's about teams' opinions. You use their expertise, and there is no bad idea. It's about being respectful and open-minded. You test the ideas with followers. It's about, here's what I think of doing. What do you think? Leaders do make the ultimate decisions, but they can also delegate decision-making. However, they cannot delegate accountability. On the upside, this style of leadership allows for high quality informed decisions. You gather a lot of information, and it is good when you have skilled workers in place, and leaders develop good communication. There's transparency that leads to trust and the ability to rectify mistakes. However, it is not helpful in high pressure situations and short times with tight deadlines. It's inappropriate in situations where there's quickest response is best, and when there is no luxury for collaboration. So it can be a little bit time consuming. For example, when an immediate lockdown is required to control the spread of a virus, it is not practical when there is no harmony, or you need like harmony or consensus that are not applicable in those situations. So it requires judgment call at the time. So you really cannot apply it in those situations. I'll give you an example of a democratic leader, Steve Jobs. Many of us know him. He almost failed in the mid 1990s with regard to Apple, but then he succeeded. He started off as an autocratic leader, and later Apple's board of directors, they requested that he resign. And when he returned to Apple more than 10 years later, Jobs' democratic leadership, he did it. He understood how to adapt his style to suit the needs of the company at various stages of growth. He hired other experienced workers and entrusted them to excel. He encouraged the lead designer, Jonathan Ive, and he mentored the manufacturing expert, Tim, who became CEO. He also let them make key decisions. That is delegation. In any case, there's painstaking. It's about doing things faster, better, and more efficiently. Here, it's about being self-motivated and well-skilled. So the leader should be highly self-motivated. It's about trend setting. A pace-setting leader leads by example. This leader sets the trend for others to follow. Now, when do you use this type of leadership? when there's urgency, when you need to deliver, like the deadline is near, when the team morale is faltering and the belief in success is low. So you need to boost the team and have them believe that it is possible. When it comes to coaching, it's about motivation and building members. It can be used when the leader wants to help team members build lasting personal strengths that will contribute to their overall success. For small teams or subsets of larger teams, it also applies. Becomes inapplicable when there is a stressful crisis or situations where decisions need to be immediate and consequences are dire, and the team may be defiant or unwilling to learn. So it can be quite ineffective in those instances. But the upside is that, the downside is that it can be resource intensive, as it requires a lot of time and energy, and as well as patience. It can also be difficult because it requires the leader to be confident, experienced, and have the ability to give meaningful advice. It only works if team members are actually committed to the process, and doesn't always lead to the fastest and the most efficient results. Now, the last three types: coercive, authoritative, and affiliative. Coercive, some people also call it autocratic. So this one puts the best people in place. Leaders will never become popular, unfortunately. It eliminates diversity and innovation. You may lead to employee retaliation, and leaders here must be feared to be effective. It is best when it's used short-term, actually really short-term. It's most applicable during times of crisis, natural disasters, and dealing with problematic employees or even low-skilled workers, or if the organization is undergoing a period of struggle or change. Sure, it can work. So this is why I always emphasize that it's always best to know when to apply certain leadership styles. When it comes to authoritative, this one is about an overbearing leader. They are micromanaging. They may cause employee rebellion as well. It causes everyone to rely on the experience. And when is this appropriate? It's kind of similar to coercive. It's good when the organization is undergoing a period of struggle as well, or there's just little room for error. So that's when it would be applicable. With affiliative, this one is about creating bonds, really harmonizing the situation. It is appropriate in stressful situation and you want to heal rifts between team players, to improve teamwork. It boosts morale and it increases efficiency when used appropriately. So it is always best that amongst these 6 styles, of course there are other styles, but these are the ones that I'll talk about today, that amongst these you adjust as necessary as a leader, and you can apply these in any way that you're leading, in any place you're leading. So let's transition a little bit. So here we have a cover, and also we have covered a lot of aspects in leadership. It is evident that this is a taxing job with a great deal of stress, and indeed to whom much is given, much is required. And as in the slide, with great power does come great responsibility. That's why I decided that to make this presentation would be very important. And here we just want to go a little bit more and talk about emotions. We're just going to get a little bit emotional. We're all humans after all, so we have to talk about emotional intelligence. And this is also part of leadership and management, because we deal with people, we deal with teams. And this is the capacity to be aware of and control and express one's emotions in order to handle interpersonal relationships. And it involves the most basic 4 concepts: self-awareness and management, social awareness and skills. It's a practical skill. So it's not just understanding about how one's emotions work, but also using that understanding to make our emotions work for us and also work for the team. This is all in order to improve effectiveness of the team and actually produce results. So let's dive in a little bit more. We zoom into self-awareness, which represents the capacity of becoming the object of one's attention. This involves having conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. It's about recognizing your emotions and its effects or their effects. It's about knowing one's strengths and weaknesses and having a bold sense of expression, but still being respectful to others. And when it comes to managing yourself, you see, management still pops in. It is the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors consciously in a productive way under different circumstances at that. It's about managing negative impulse emotions, being honest, the quality of wishing to do one's work and do it well and thoroughly, being flexible to change and being open to fresh new ideas. Now, I gotta admit, I'm still a work in progress, and it's okay to be vulnerable around others. And that's why we need to talk about being socially aware. Social awareness is about the ability to take the perspectives of others and also empathize with others, including those that are from different backgrounds and cultures, because we are a diverse, you know. So it involves recognizing and being able to be aware of your environment, being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. I know we've heard that a lot, but that's the essence of empathy. It's about anticipating and recognizing meeting followers' needs. And that is service orientation, helping others realize and achieve their abilities, developing others, as we've talked in the levels of leadership, and also developing opportunities through diverse people. So that is leveraging diversity. With social skills, which also goes along with social awareness, these are communication skills, decision making, self-management, and peer relations abilities that allow one to initiate, to build, and maintain positive social relations with others. They include verbal and non-verbal communication, that is speech, gesture, facial expressions, and body language, basically. So you can ask yourself, what skills do you use to interact peacefully with others? There are many, but I can just mention a few, like recognizing that communication is a two-way street that requires that mutual respect between partners. And also it's about initiating and managing change, that is being the change catalyst, and also negotiating. These are my references for this topic, and there are other related topics that you can tackle and look into. That is teamwork, management, feedback, and delegation. And that is just to list a few. So thank you so much for your attention. And I just want to leave you with this. One of our colleagues quote, Dr. Darwin Sichimber, when he said, always check and ensure that each step you take is in tandem with your purpose and vision. Thank you so much. I will hand it back to you, Benisha.
Right. Thank you so much, Madam President. I think the presentation has been very insightful.
My
And as far
pleasure.
as leadership skills is concerned, for those that for those that are joining us for the first time, you should know that President Loren is actually my mentor, and is one of the person that I look when I look at for me to achieve what I've achieved in terms of leadership skills. So I think some of the insights that she has shared can be very helpful if you put them into practice. Okay, I think this is a session for Q&A. So if you have a question concerning that what was presented, kindly just unmute your mic and ask your question. Yeah, even contributions, guys. Maybe you'd like to contribute or anything, feel free to contribute. It's not just questions. Remember, asking questions, contributing is part of networking.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes,
Hi.
good evening, Clara.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. This was a nice presentation. I've learned a lot. And thank you for everyone for attending this webinar.
Awesome. My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Panther. And for those who don't know, Panther is actually one of AFAN. I think this year, from the time he joined AFAN, he has never missed any meeting. Kudos to that. Do we have any further questions?
It's not a contribution per se. Good evening, everyone. Just trying to also extend what Panther added. I would also like to express my appreciation for this platform as an individual who's looking forward to going to the leadership space. There's so many takeaway points I've taken from this meeting. So I'd like to extend the warm appreciation for this platform, Dr. Manchet, as well as Dr. Seopelo. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yes, it's always great to have these talks about leadership and networking, because at the end of the day, even at the end of our lives, we would have been leaders at some point, and we will be able to teach others as well and the upcoming generation about these skills. Thank you, Ebenisha, also for organizing this.
Thank you so much, Madam President. And thank you so much, Eric, for that contribution. We really value it and we really appreciate. Do we have any further questions?
Yeah, mine, I don't know if this is a question or, but I've heard something like, not in this meeting, but in some other meetings about leadership, saying some are born leaders and others are made leaders. So, like, when it comes to leadership, I would like to know, like, does it mean that for those people, like, there's just some people who don't hold any position, but they have influence? So in the category of leadership, where do those people fall?
Thank you so much for your thoughts. I mean, it's an interesting topic. Like I said, there are whole encyclopedias about leadership with different perspectives, and it has been explored a lot. So with regard to your statement about born leaders versus made leaders, in my opinion, not referencing anybody, it's just that I think we all born different, sure. And we develop differently throughout our childhoods, and we learn things differently. It's all about the decision that a person makes. Did they want to be a leader or not? But in any case, sometimes you don't even have a choice. You just have to be. It's the same concept as being those who are said to be gifted, just using that one we can relate with most, like gifted academically, and those who are not gifted academically that have to work extra hard. It is always, it's the same. The setting is the same, in my opinion, in the sense that even if you're gifted or a born leader, if you do not work hard to develop those gifts, you're going to be superseded by somebody who is working hard to develop them. So I don't know. I cannot speak. I don't know if I was a born leader or a made one. I just know that I worked hard. That's all I know. And I loved what I do with a passion. So that's what makes a great leader. I think the most important thing here is, how can you be a great leader to your people? How can you develop people? And with regard to what level of leadership are those that influence but don't have any leadership position? That is a good question. And I would love to throw it back to the audience, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, honestly. I would love to. I remember in the level 1, I said that here people follow you because they have to. You were just given the title. There's no influence, absolutely no influence. And I emphasized the last statement that if you're going to lead in this position for a long time, the team won't go anywhere. So you need influence. So I would say the people who have influence are indeed leaders. And I will say it again that we are all leaders in our own way, in our own realm, in our own roles, whether as families, at work, at institutions, we are all leaders somewhere. We are all leaders in our own lives anyway. So I believe that this is an interesting topic. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this.
Okay, sorry, are you going to, sorry for joining late. Some things to do with work first. From my experience, I'm not really a leader, but I am um, I'm someone who works at something doesn't come easy for me. People say, no, you're good at this, you're excelling at school, but I know how hard it is for me to actually excel or even just move on in my academic life. What I've come to realize is there is just those who are gifted and those who need to work hard on it. Which I don't know one can say it's fair or not, but I guess that's how we're made. And in terms of leadership, I've come to discover that I don't know what really happens. You discover that people very smart or very academically oriented, they tend to leverage towards being led by those people who are more I don't know what word I can use, like more okay, they are let's say they're average, but they more want to control or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how we can put it there, but I think you get the difference between those two, which I've discovered in our setting mostly. Like you find that my friend is doing very well, but he tends to pull back and say, let them do what they're doing, us will do our own thing. Like an example is as when you lecture, you find that someone is very academically oriented and knows a lot, but they'll keep quiet and they don't want to share what they know or drive other students what they would want. So I'll say there's an aspect of choice in leadership, aspect of temperament.
Hi, your audio wasn't quite clear. I really couldn't get a lot of the information you said.
Oh, I don't know, maybe they know the aquarium, but what I can say is that in a nutshell, I was saying an aspect of choice in leadership and an aspect of temperament. So, one can be academic oriented and choose not to lead because he knows he's got more information to impact on people. But other one can not be academically oriented and will choose to lead that he may control people in a certain way with his own vision.
Okay, so you mean like it's more of a choice, like the direction you want to take in leadership or clinically oriented, it's a matter of choice. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. That's what I was trying to.
I would like to also add my voice, Dr. Sebopelo, regarding the same issue. Just trying to also like add what Kundwan is saying. I think I'm also agreeing with what you said earlier to say, and what Xavier said to say, some are obviously born leaders, as it were, and then others are made to be leaders. But then I'm thinking that even if you are, for example, born to be a leader, I think you have to stay a leader. So at some point, there's an issue of you remaining relevant for those, for example, who you're leading, be able to follow you. Because as it were, leaders are somehow supposed to inspire us, for us to like stay on following them, as it were. So then, even if you're born, for example, a leader, but then along the way you don't like work hard to maintain that stance, as it were, I think you won't be such an effective leader. So then the others, as it were, who not really are, as it were, naturally leader per se, but then, as you said, maybe passion, for example, and then they see a chance, and then they harness that chance, and then they work hard to be a leader. I think in the end, things can work out. That's my voice.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, clearly, this is a very interesting topic. It could make a spin off, and just, have it like something like born leader versus made leader, just to make it fun and see and have other people's thoughts on that. It's really an interesting topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those wonderful contributions. Yeah, I think you've just yeah, sorry, I had cut. I needed to add a voice to what Xavier said concerning as to whether leaders are born. I mean, leaders are born or are made. So with regards to motivation and leadership, I think his name is Robin. Yeah, Robin. So they said there's a recent study that was carried to determine the same if leadership is in genetics or it's something that is learned. So they said that 30% of leadership is usually genetic, and 70% of leaders who are these non-leaders and the like, it's something that is learned. So from this, we can tell that the percentage for leaders being born or in genetics, it's much lesser than the one where leadership is something that is learned. So from here, we can deduce to say leaders, quite right, they are leaders who are born just naturally with that passion to lead others. But majority of it is something that is learned. So a person can be born with natural leadership abilities, and others can just learn how to be good leaders, and they perfect the art of leadership. So saying that, I feel leadership, it's something that we can actually perfect along the way. Yeah, if we just take it that there are people who are born natural leaders, I think it might in some way affect the way we do things, because we feel maybe that one was born with the leadership qualities, and as for me, I'm just trying and the like. So you don't have to worry about that. About 70% is something that is learned, something that you can perfect. Yeah, and one thing I can just add is I think for you to be a great leader, you have to have a mentor, so to say, that inspires you. And there's this problem that people have. They have too much mentors. They have too many mentors in different fields. You get, yeah, okay. It's okay to have different mentors from different fields, but I feel for you to be specific, for you to be, to be well equipped with what you need, you have to follow people that are in your field. Yeah, doctors, your seniors, and the like, people within your sake. Yeah, I can't say my mentor is someone who is in Iran or USA. I feel I can just say my mentor either within AFAN or within CBU. That way you can have easy access to your mentor in as far as leadership is concerned. Yeah, I think that's what I needed to add, and I appreciate all the contributions that have come forth. And maybe before we can go to the next session, I would just like to recognize the presence of a Dr. Msakanya Shituluka. She has been in AFAN for some years. In fact, she's one of the person that introduced me to AFAN, and she's been doing a lot, and I've learned a lot from her. So we appreciate you, Doc, and we appreciate your time for being with us. You can just say hi to everyone in the meeting.
Hello. Are you able to get me?
Yes, we can get you, Doc.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be part of this presentation, and I'm so glad that a number of people are attending this presentation. I joined in late, but that was a great presentation. Dr. Lauren, thank you so much. And I learned a lot. Yeah, looking forward to more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. It's always a pleasure to have you, and thank you for joining us today and taking the time. I know it's a pretty busy schedule and it's late in the evening, so thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Msakanya. And once again, it's a pleasure to have you amidst us. Okay, the next session is a bit straightforward as well. It's not something that is going to take you more time. Okay, so we'll be looking at networking. So by networking, of course, we need a professional network. Just allow me to share the slides. I made few slides, but most of the things are just able to say them out. Okay, you can just confirm if you can see my slide. Are you able to see my slides?
I can see your screen, not sites yet.
You still can't see my slides?
Yeah, I can see them now.
All right, thank you so much. So just as I introduce myself, my name is Ebenisha Chonyamajata. I'm the Director of Operations for AFAN, and I'm very happy and glad to be here, to be part of this house, to be part of this team. Okay, so tonight I'll be discussing on networking. So when it comes to networking, I think you can see that networking has the word net and working, and it's more like network, so to say. So before I can read what is on the screen, I would just like us to think of this. The reason why I also say this, let's introduce ourselves, mentioning the countries we're coming from, the universities we're coming from, and the like. We came together here because of network. Without, we wouldn't have made this possible. So all these online organizations that we see, they are made through network. Powerful. So networking is the use of formal and informal linkages of people and resources for the purpose of facilitating access to services, skills, contacts, and knowledge. So there is a lot that we gain from networking. Knowledge. Right now, from learning about leadership skills, that is some sort of knowledge. So we have gained knowledge through networking. Most of you here, in fact, even myself, we have never seen in person Dr. Loren or Dr. Msakani. But we're able to hear their voices, we're able to communicate, we're able to get inspired from them through this same network. So there are many things that we gain from network. Now, why do people avoid networking? Before we can go to why people network. So there are many factors that contribute people not to networking. Some of which could include the intimidation factor.
Benisha, sorry for interrupting. I can't see the slides.
Anyone else? Dr. Elaine, are you able to see the slides?
Only your screen is visible. The slides are not showing.
I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's in network. Let me try to stop and share again. Okay. Can you see them now?
Yes, Marisha.
Yes, I can see them.
All right. Thank you. So I was saying we're here because we want to know about networking and how we can go about it. But it is also important to know why people avoid networking. So one of the factors that lead to that is intimidation. So you'll find that people, based off the positions they are holding in society, we tend to fear them, so to say. We tend to get intimidated just by, virtue of them being a minister, them being president, them being MP and the like. Even in AFAN, there are some members even among you who wouldn't just go straight and inbox Dr. Loren, our president, just because of the position she's holding. This has contributed to majority of people not networking, but it is through which once learned how to break this barrier that you can network with everyone, like with any person that you can think of. Even the president of the country can still network with them. Another reason that contributes to people avoiding networking could be awkward social moments as well. Okay, so even on the same, especially on the part of the ladies, it's kind of hard if you want to approach someone that maybe you are inspired of and the like. Let's say that person is married, and you want to try to get maybe their contacts, you want to try to inbox them, could be on Facebook, LinkedIn, and the like. You feel it's some kind of awkward to reach out to such people thinking that they are married and the like, so maybe the wife will suspect this and that. So those are some of the things that let people not network. Relevance. So there are also people who feel they are okay where they are and they don't need to network. There are people who are just as I said, they feel they are enough. They feel their job they are doing is just okay for them. Okay, so there are many other reasons why people not network. But why do we network? Okay, so there are some that I won't be able to explain here. But one of the key things is to build relationships. Now, relationships can come in various forms. Like the relationship we have built among AFAN members, among AFAN executive, that relationship came about due to network. Without networking, I wouldn't have known Dr. Msakanya, I wouldn't have known AFAN, I wouldn't have known Madame Lorraine. So the reason why we network is for us to get into such relationships that might build our career. We network also to raise awareness. This is very important. Just now, I'm just from attending SDG Summit. And there were a lot of awarenesses on those SDGs. And they were made possible due to network. Okay, so those who are in business, for you to have more opportunities, you need to network with other people, either in your field or not in your field, but they are potential clients. Okay, so there are quite a number of reasons why we need to network. Most of you, that's why you are here. You want to network, and you have personal reasons why you want to network. Now, we need also to look at some of the keys to building a successive network. And before I can go through this, I want you to note that building a network, it's not just coming up with a lot of numbers or having a lot of friends on Facebook. I'm sure most of you can attest to the fact that maybe you have more than 2,000 friends on Facebook. And if I ask you how many those friends that you talk to at personal level, how many are contributing to your successes, and how many are actually engaged in what you do. You'll find that maybe they're just not even 5% of your friends on Facebook are relevant, so to say. Yeah, I'm sorry to use that word, but we have so much, so to say, that we say, no, I have network. That is not network. So networking and network, it has to do with people that are adding value to you, and also people you are adding value to them. They might not contribute much to your successes and the like, but if you contribute to their successes, that is still networking. Although networking is a two-way thing, but we shouldn't always take it that it should be a two-way thing. There are times where we need to volunteer, and the term volunteer, I think we don't really need something in written. Networking, like you are volunteering in some sense, might mean you not gaining, but meanwhile you're gaining. Right now, leaders in AFAN, representative of AFAN, they are not paid to do what they need to do. People that designs in AFAN, they are not paid to spend all those 3 hours to make a poster. An example I can give is among the members we have here is Xavier. Xavier has been helpful in making posters for AFAN because he believes in what we do. And in doing so, it is not only him burdening him to do that, but he's also building a skill, When these flyers are sent out there, someone might be interested to know who worked on this flyer. I would like to employ this. You'll find little things that we take for granted are things that can actually lead us to break that spell of inertia with regards to unsuccessful people. So the following are some of the keys that we can be helpful for us to succeed in our networking. You have to be genuine. So you really have to be genuine in the way you do things. There are people on LinkedIn, so to say, though I'll get back to that, where they will just inbox you just to want to be friends, but they don't really have what they need to gain from you and what you can actually give them in return, so to say. They just want to build a lot of numbers. Be helpful, be thankful, be sincere, be patient, be committed and persistent. Among these, I like be thankful, be helpful, and be patient, as well as commitment. In fact, all of them are my favorites. Trust me, for you to build a good network, you need to be thankful for your network, so to say. You need to appreciate your network. The more you appreciate people around you that are adding value to your successes, the more they are likely to buy in your ideas, to buy in your vision, and help you grow. One thing I can say right here is I'm so thankful once again, to Dr. Msakanyalo Shituluka. Why? Because she was helpful. It's like I say, she was helpful in orienting me to AFAN, and now I'm thankful for her orienting me to AFAN. So that's one of the importance of being helpful. When you are helpful today, tomorrow you'll be thankful for someone that is going to help you. So networking, being said, it's a two-way thing. You might not benefit from the very person that you've helped, but you might benefit from the next person. And be committed and persistent. So there are some times where you really need to get in touch with a Benisha, for example. And a Benisha seems to be a very busy person. Maybe you message him, he will reply after 2 days. Then you feel like giving up. No, you don't need to give up. You have to be persistent. The more reasons you give to someone, the more they will realize your need. and the more likely they're going to assist. So just like in leadership, you really have to be committed and persistent. I think that summarizes that. Now, what are some of the strategies that we can put for us to network nicely? The first one that actually helps me specifically is I try to dedicate at least 10 to 20 minutes every day to connect. By connecting, I mean real connections, not just another connections. So we have different okay, I'll get back, like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. How are you utilizing such platforms to network? There are many times that we are just following what is happening without really engaging ourselves to contribute to what is happening. So what if you dedicate your 10 to 20 minutes each day just to find ways to connect with potential network around you or across the world? Okay, so another strategy is event preparations. So there are some events like, let's say, the SDG summit that I'm just from attending an hour ago. So you need to prepare for such events. If there's an event that is coming up, prepare yourself. It means spending a certain amount of money. Money will always be there in future. The more you invest in your preparation to network, the more you build your network and the like. Okay, so establish goals. You need to set goals, of course, as you are networking. You don't just network with everyone. You have to have specific goals. For example, if you want to be a leader, associate yourself with the organizations that pave way for leadership. Be active, for example, in AFAN, so that leaders can recognize you and your efforts. Perhaps they can even give you a position that you can participate in. And another thing is find a networking buddy. Though I don't usually use this, but you can use it through mentors, of course. You can network with potential people through your mentors that are maybe, say, well-known already. An example I can give is one of my mentors that I have, Dr. Darwin Sishimba. Yeah, I've been looking up to him from my first year, and if you know what I do and you know what he does, you will think maybe we are doing I'm doing the exact things he did. Why? Because I'm being specific with what I know, what makes me happy and the like. So if you have those goals, you have mentors, you have people that are already there, known, and they're paving way for you, even better. An example I can give is just a few minutes ago, I received a message from a doctor in UK who will be moderating one of the sessions that we'll be having in another organization that I represent. And the person that made it possible is actually Professor Voa. Because he saw what we do, we engaged him, and I always look up to him for advice and the like. So he helped me connect with big people out there marketing our organization and the like. Among ourselves here, we have big people. We have the president, we have Dr. Why not inbox them at the end of the meeting and just get to know them, save their line, and they'll save your line. You see what they do. You see their statuses. You go to LinkedIn, check what they do. Could be you might be interested in one of the organizations that they're affiliated. So networking buddy should be someone who is really your friend. You are doing networking and the like. Could be someone, a mentor and the like. So follow up. Don't just send a message, say, hi, Dr. Loren, my name is Ebenisha, and I'm from Zambia. Yeah, I thought of saying hi. Yeah, that is not enough. They will say, thank you for connecting with me and the like. Then the conversation, specifically, you need them to engage you. Some few minutes ago, I received a message from one of the members who is here. They're interested in leadership and the like. They want to be engaged in activities of our organization. So they requested if at some point they can moderate a meeting like one in AFAN. And I was happy to hear that, and I like it when people like networking. So to that end, he that requested next meeting in AFAN, you'll be moderating. See how opportunities come. So this person has already networked and he has already found the networking good or bad, so to say. Okay, so it's very important to make a follow-up, and making connections, it's important as well. We'll get to that. Online network, very, very important, and I'm sure that's one of the main areas that you can network. It's online. Physically, we don't really get to know, to have potential people we can network physically unless in conferences and you get ready, set, and you have to network. There are, the four parts that can help you when you want to network. Conversation starters. How do you start a conversation? Do you just go the normal way? Hi, how are you? Hello, and the like. That's not a good way to network. So for conversation starters, you really have to know how to approach someone. You have to know the standard that you need to use for you to communicate with someone on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, even a normal text. So there is a way in which you have to phrase your starting conversation in these platforms. The second one is breaking into conversations. So after you start the conversation, how do you break it down? It's very important for you to be very specific in the conversation. You don't really have to, divert from the main topic that you are interested in. Let's say if you want to develop leadership skills, you want to participate in activities, be straight to the point. You don't go into other areas other than leadership if you strictly want to engage into leadership. So keeping the conversation going as well. So don't just end on requesting and the like. It's also important, especially when you're starting, you appreciate someone, what they do, that you love what they do and the like, and get into requesting what you need to request, because someone can only be interested in you if you are interested in them. So if you're interested in me, I'm more likely to also be interested in you, in what you do as well. So networking, this third point I can mention is keeping conversations going. I've already mentioned that. Exiting conversations. How do you end a conversation? You don't really have to be too boring, Yeah, it's not good to be boring. When you're exiting a conversation, make it straight to the point and assure the person that you get in touch with them once you are stuck with whatever you requested and the like. Okay. So this, I think I've explained this. So I'll go to managing your network. Okay, so how do you manage your network? So just as I said, you don't just build too much network that you can't make use of. So there are times if a person you're trying to network with, let's say Loveday, you want to network with me, or Eric, you want to network with me. Yeah, you don't just end on greetings, requesting this and that. There are times where you can pay me a visit, us being in the same area. Say, oh, I would like to visit you on a weekend. You come, we have a chat together, we share insights, things like that. But for people that are far, there are times you can even schedule a meeting with them just to show them how important you need them to help you. So there are many ways in which you can manage your network, but those are major ones. Okay, now we have to look at some of the ways in which you can network and also the platforms that you can use to network. So as for me, I use, I would say mainly I use LinkedIn, followed by there's what we call Project IMG. Yeah, I'm sure very few of you have already joined, but at the end of the meeting, you can simply drop me a message so that I can share you a link to Project IMG and be able to network with other students other leaders, other doctors, other professors across the world. So at the end of the meeting, please drop me a message and I'll be able to send you the link to Might Network or Project IMG. LinkedIn is very useful, very, very useful. We have millions and millions of people on LinkedIn, but having connections and networking on LinkedIn, trust me, it's something that is not a child display. It's not something that is very easy to network on LinkedIn. It is easy for someone to respond to your message, let's say on Facebook or Messenger, but not on platforms like LinkedIn. So here, I'm sure I advise most of you to have LinkedIn account if you don't have any, and if you have any, please, whatever achievements, whatever things you do, you need to constantly update it in profiles. There's no way you can be doing a lot of work and just end there, keeping those memories, photos in your gadget, in your phone, in your PC, and the like. Try to share with the world what you're doing so that they can see the relevance. And once you approach them, they will view your profile. They will see what you post. Is it in line with what they do? So it's very important for you. Whatever you do, you attend a conference, post on LinkedIn, share some of your takeaways, and people will be able to learn. I mean, what's the whole essence of learning if you cannot share with others? Okay, so there are many ways here, but the key thing is please make your profile relevance. On LinkedIn, don't just go there and say, oh, I'm the president for Metok Zambia. Say something about Metok Zambia. What do you do there? What is your role there? Director of operations at AFAN. You end there. Say what you do there. Say, post the things about AFAN. There's a presentation, a flyer like this, even when you're not the one presenting. Post, I'm excited to attend, to be part of this. At the end of this meeting, you can go on your LinkedIn, get the flyer that is currently there. You just share some of the insights that you've learned from this meeting. And those insights will remind you even later on when you've forgotten. So presentations like this, at the end of this, some of the things that I've mentioned, you even forget them. But if you try to capitalize them, write them somewhere, and post them, it could be on Facebook, could be on LinkedIn, you share with your network, and they will see that you are an ambitious person. They will see that you are someone that is interested to learn, and people will be looking forward to connect with you. It is who you know. It is that who wants to connect with you. So that's the key about networking and the like. It is that person who wants to connect with you, not how many friends you have and the like. Okay, so Facebook. Normally Facebook, we use it wrongly, especially as youths. We just go on Facebook to see how people are bullied. We use Facebook to see how people, jokes, comedians. We feel Facebook, it's not professional. We feel Facebook, it is for people who are comedians. We feel Facebook, it's something that is for, musicians, politicians, and the like. You can actually utilize Facebook to your good end, even when no one needs. So make your Facebook profiles, make your Facebook what you post there relevant. I mean, who would want to connect with someone who just shares memes each time? Yeah, there are people who are interested in memes, but I feel people will just be following you so that they can laugh and the like without really connecting with you. What if you change the perspective and you start posting things that are related to what you do? More people will be able to reach out professionally to connect with you. So I encourage us to make use of our Facebook or LinkedIn for our good cause. Because what I've noticed is medical students, engineering students, and the like, they are so much occupied with things that are not related to their, area of interest. You find that someone is so much into sports. Each time they go on Facebook, the groups they are in, the pages they are in, are just talking about maybe celebrities, FIFA and the like. You find that maybe even here, among us here, you find that maybe you are not even in any page that it does things to do with medicine, or brain clubs on Facebook, or neuroscience clubs on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You are not in any of the pages, and you are in AFAN and you want to do neuroscience or neurosurgery. I think it's high time we realize this and turn our ways of doing things on Facebook, LinkedIn to our good cause. Some of the keys, as I'm ending, the keys to networking. So make yourself easy to find. Okay, so by that, in terms of I'll stick to online. Just as I said, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can make use of yourself being easy to find. Make it clear. If you can see some of the posters I put, could be in Facebook or LinkedIn, I usually drop my contact there. It's not always that you have to build the connections when people messages you in the inbox on LinkedIn or Facebook. Why not make it easy? You drop your email address, you drop your contact there, and they'll reach you on WhatsApp. Yeah, so I feel I know sharing contacts and the like, there are people who might come for other reasons, but I feel, as for me, I find it easy when I drop my contacts so that people can easily get in touch with me. And I'll decide whether to add them to my network or not, based on what they need out of me and what they need me to do for them and the like. So go deep with key relationships. Be a connector. Be open, be patient, and commit to helping others and be successful. I think most of us here, we are Christians. Do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. So if you help others, they are more likely to help you back. Okay, I think this is the end of the presentation. I'm sure I haven't taken so much time, but I'll just allow questions if we have some questions. Thank you so much. Hope people were able to get me.
Yeah, mine is I think I didn't really get, as in I heard you mention something about the language that you need to use on these media platforms like LinkedIn. I think you can just try to shed more light on that. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much for that important question, Xavier. So what I meant by the language, or what I meant there, was how you phrase your, could be your message. If you're inboxing someone on LinkedIn, it is different usually from the way we message each other from WhatsApp. Yeah, so if you are messaging someone for the first time, it is important for you to take keen interest in the following. You first, you can greet the person, address them by their name, and introduce yourself. Even when it shows that you are Xavier Bacchus, it's important. Say, could be dear this, or greetings and the like, or my name is this, and this. You share briefly what you, not really the whole thing, but what you do with respect to what you want them to help you or assist you with. If you're a medical student, at least indicate that. If you are maybe into business and the like, at least indicate that. And the other thing is up within your message, at least up more like show that you you've been following that person you want to connect with. You can say things like, I see that you have interest in research, and I'm a research enthusiast, or I want to do venture into research. So I see that you are doing so much, and you could be a potential person to assist me get into research and the like. So after you appreciate the person, or you show them that you actually know what they do and the like, then at least you can share a bit of what you need them to do, and you end by thanking them also. So I feel I can share some more tips and the like on how you can approach these ends. Otherwise, that's what I meant.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have any further questions from others?
So to add something on networking, like my own experience, before I joined AFAN, I had this friend from LinkedIn. There's some time back in 2022, I inboxed Dr. Bankole, who's a neurosurgeon. So I explained to him, because that time I followed him almost like 6 months, and what he was doing. That time he was still in fifth year, in his final year of residency in Morocco. So I explained to him about what I want from him, and he responded. He told me that he's going to mentor me. Sometime back, like in January, I saw AFAN. So, and then a friend of mine who is from LinkedIn, so I inboxed him and to shed more light about AFAN. So he connected me and he sent me the president number, Dr. Lorin. So I inboxed Dr. Lorin. I explained myself to her. So she responded. She gave me another number for Endele. I don't know the pronunciation of the name. So, and this person now was added to the group. So thank you, Majata, for shedding more light about connection. So network is an important thing for one to succeed in this world now. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Para, for that. It's good that we have someone that have utilized the LinkedIn and the power of network to get into AFAN. Do we have further questions, contributions?
Mine is a contribution.
Right, sure, you can go ahead, Doc.
When you were starting your presentation, you mentioned something about students or like junior doctors afraid of approaching senior doctors to ask for guidance and stuff like that. And I think that's common among some people because they feel intimidated of the statuses and all that. But my advice is that you shouldn't be afraid to approach senior doctors and also the leaders in AFAN. Actually, some of us feel happy when we're approached because we're willing to help, and that's why we're here, because our juniors are the future leaders of tomorrow. And if we're not mentoring them and giving them the information that they need, then we're not doing our job, because we won't always be here, but our juniors, once we're done with everything that we're doing, our juniors are the ones who eventually take up those tasks. So don't be afraid to approach us. Don't be afraid to approach senior doctors. And also, one thing that you need to realize is that not all leaders are the same. Some are straightforward and some will start joking and stuff like that. But the most important thing is that just take people as they are. You might not know who will help you in the future. Yeah. And sometimes at maybe the first time you approach some individuals, they might not seem so friendly, maybe because they don't know you and they're trying to get to know you. Don't be afraid to approach them the next time. and stuff like that. So that's my advice. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Msakanya, for those insights. We really appreciate.
You're welcome.
Yes, yes, can you go ahead?
Thank you so much, Ebenezer, for the awesome presentation. It was really applicable with the skills that you taught, and also the emphasizing the need for networking. As people who are gonna lead and who will continue to lead, we will all need to network at some point, and that is also to increase our skills as well. So thank you so much.
Right. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. I don't know if we have further questions and contributions. I was not able to get the last part that Madam Roren was saying. But yeah, I think that's what I needed to share this evening. So do we have any further questions and contributions?
Good evening. Good evening. Hello, can you get me?
Yes, we can get you, Doc. You can go ahead.
Mine is a contribution based on what I've learned to tonight. So I just want to say two things. Yes, so I realized that I was doing a lot of things wrong. I was doing a lot of things wrong. Yes, because actually I didn't actually pay attention to the nitty-gritties or small details that pertains connection. I remember first time I joined AFAN, it was somewhere in 2021, end of 2021, and then there was an advert about fellowship programs. So and I tried because there were a lot of requirements that we needed to fulfill. But then I remember I couldn't actually. I tried to ask one of my seniors, but by then they were occupied. Yeah, it seemed to be busy. I was like, I'll just go ahead and yeah. I wasn't actually persistent enough to follow them up to ask here, ask once, twice. Yeah, like no, they're busy, and I'm just putting enough pressure, just too much pressure on them. So I went ahead and I failed that terribly in applying for that fellowship. I failed, and the next time they advertised, I'd even lost hope. I was like, this time let me not even try. So based on this sharing, I've learned a lot. Learned a lot also how just to approach people that could be your mentors and people that could direct you, and how to be persistent. Yeah, you keep on trying, like Dr. Shitoluka spoke it, and you also put it in your presentation. Yes, and also I've learned a lot just by following. Yeah, because last time we had a meeting with Dr. Lolen, as I explained everything to her. Yeah, and to be honest, just by following her statuses, seeing what she does, it has even inspired me more. And also, Dr. Benisha, I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot, and I believe with this sharing, it's gonna help me. It's gonna help me in my quest for career development. Thank you so much.
Hi, Ebenezer. I don't know if I'm the only one who can't hear you. I think he's having audio problems. It's just give him 10 minutes. Okay, so yeah, he's having a bit of challenges with the audio, but I believe we've covered a lot today and we've all learned a lot. I honestly really want to thank you so much for your attendance today, and please feel free to voice out any questions. You can leave a comment in the group. That's still okay. And I hope to see you guys again on upcoming webinars, even journal clubs, that is. So thank you very much for joining today. We'll have this video, this presentations online soon on YouTube. So, all right, we can have a good night.